Ähm, Webcam. Hi. Willkommen zu diesem Stream. Dieser Stream ist ein bisschen weird für mich, in dem Sinne von, ich probiere eine Stimme aus, wo ich halt bis jetzt nicht weiß, wie believable die klingt. Ich habe von Leuten gehört bekommen, dass sie believable klingt, also auch von meinen Logopäden. Aber natürlich ist es auch wieder kontextabhängig, weil wenn ich es halt so extra stark versuche, genau, ist immer schwierig zu sagen, ob es dann halt auch wirklich so ist, wie ich denke. Weil auf jeden Fall ist mein Ziel für diesen Stream, dass ich bisschen mehr in meine Stimme reinkomme, bisschen mehr es zur Gewohnheit wird, dass ich sie nutze, sodass es halt weniger anstrengend ist, weil es ist nicht mehr so anstrengend wie am Anfang. Ich habe die jetzt schon so ein bisschen öfter benutzt, aber es ist auf jeden Fall noch nicht so ganz so leicht und ich slippe sehr oft, vor allem am Ende eines Satzes. Da gehe ich sehr oft mit der Stimmhöhe runter und ich versuche halt ein bisschen darauf zu achten, dass es ein bisschen anders wird. Es ist halt schwierig, aber ich versuch's. Aber das ist auf jeden Fall nicht die finale Stimme, die ich... Okay, ich sag nicht auf jeden Fall eigentlich. Es ist wahrscheinlich nicht die Stimme, bei der ich final landen werde. Es ist aber halt so... Das... Womit ich ganz zufrieden bin eigentlich. Ja, und ich bin halt hier, um ein bisschen Confidence zu sammeln, um es dann auch Real Life machen zu können. Weil es ist jetzt erstmal egal, ob ich mit der Stimme 100% zufrieden bin. Ich meine, ich war mit meiner vorherigen Stimme ja auch nicht 100% zufrieden. Und wenn ich sie halt, also wenn ich die Confidence habe, sie dann auch in Real Life zu nutzen, dann wird mir das schon einige Vorteile bringen. Und ich glaube, ich bin auch happier so, wenn ich diese Stimme nutze. Also wird das schon passen. Ich hab trotzdem ein bisschen so Angst davor, keine Reactions jetzt zu bekommen zu meiner Stimme. Weiß nicht. Es ist halt ein bisschen schwierig, das alles so einzuschätzen. Ich habe eigentlich mehr Angst davor, also vor Dingen, die sehr wahrscheinlich nicht passieren, als Dinge, die realistisch passieren werden, weil es ist jetzt nicht so, dass irgendjemand wahrscheinlich, also zumindest jetzt keine Person, die ich kenne, irgendein random Chatter vielleicht, aber ich meine jetzt so keine Person, die ich kenne, wird wahrscheinlich jetzt sagen, nee, ist eine Scheißstimme. Also auf jeden Fall keine Menschen, mit denen ich irgendwas zu tun haben will. Aber es ist halt trotzdem so, ja. Ich versuch's halt einfach ein bisschen mehr Confidence zu sammeln. Das ist wirklich... Es ist nicht leicht zu streamen mit der Stimme. Aber ja. Bin extrem nervös. Merkt man vielleicht daran, dass ich mich auch wiederhole. Eine Sache, die man vielleicht jetzt öfter, also mehrmals während des Streams sehen könnte, ist, dass ich mir an den Hals fasse. Das ist einfach nur, weil ich nachschauen will, wo halt gerade mein Kehlkopf ist. Ist ein bisschen gut für die Orientierung. Aber es macht an sich nichts an meiner Stimme besser oder nicht. Es ist einfach nur so, dass ich irgendwie so ein Gefühl dafür kriege. Ja. Aber ich würde sagen, wir starten jetzt mit diesem Game und ja, eine Sache. Seit dem letzten Stream haben sich alle meine Daten am PC gelöscht, was dafür gesorgt hat, dass meine Speicherdaten kaputt sind. Allerdings besitzt dieses Spiel Features, die das Original Ace Attorney nicht besitzt. Nämlich, wir können ab jedem Kapitel neu starten. Und das wäre beim letzten Mal Trial Day 2 gewesen. Wo wir aufgehört haben. Also exakt da an diesem Speicherpunkt und da würde ich dann halt anfangen. Also ist tatsächlich dadurch nichts wirklich verloren gegangen. Zum Glück. Ich hatte halt Angst, dass ich alles nochmal nachspielen muss, weil ich glaube, das war halt in der vorherigen Ace Attorney Trilogy so, dass ich die nachspielen müsste. Aber hier ist das halt so zum Glück besser gelöst worden. Ich versuche auch noch andere Charakter zu voicen. Ich weiß nicht, wie gut ich das jetzt schaffen werde mit dieser Ausgangsstimme. Ich meine, ich habe das ja immer so, dass ich den Main-Character eines Spiels immer mit meiner Stimme voice. Was ein bisschen weird ist, weil ich halt Phoenix Wright vorher meine Stimme gegeben habe und es dann Apollo Justice war, der meine Stimme bekommen hat, aber egal. Deswegen, Apollo Justice wird jetzt eine Feminine Voice haben. Scheiß drauf. Er hat Voice Training gemacht. Er erzählt immer darüber, dass er Voice Training gemacht hat. Also ist jetzt sein Ding. Und ja. Ich würde sagen, wir fangen an. Okay, wie habe ich sie gesprochen? Ich habe so ein bisschen Teenager-mäßig, so ein bisschen erneut. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. Then there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy, we are leaving. Darian, wait! I never liked you. I love you. Huh? Darn it, we are so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo. He didn't want us to hear what Machi had to say. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. And I don't remember why. What was that? He has heard but unseen. Who's that talking? What? Violet Granny! I exclaimed as he walked in through the door, normally. You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valiant? A preposterous proposition. How could I stand to stand upon a stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Oh, with a vanishing magic? With vanishing magic? Indeed. I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? I grant glamour with... glamour? What? Keine Ahnung. I grant glamour resides at the roof of all that has happened. Wait. Do not forget this truth. Glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trissy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell. And there he goes. He sure seemed happy about the illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull up a show without one. The big illusions is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting up things like people or elephants, or the Eiffel Tower, anything really. So he was talking about what we saw at the concert? Lamora's disappearing act, and Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by it being at the roof of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Excuse me, sir? Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 AM. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? This is the first? It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business. Wait, I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning. Chief Justice's son. Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning, the judge said he had to go visit him after the trial. There's an article about it in the newspaper. Do you care to read about it yourself? Intricus. Where have I heard that before? I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me. Try not to lose the page with the funnies you can, if you can. Ich werde mir das definitiv jetzt erstmal durchlesen. In QT Syndrome, first case in country, disease strikes closer to home than ever before, aber mehr ist da auch nicht, okay. Gut. Okay, how do I voice old man? My apologies for the delay. What is now in session for the trial of a... How do you say this name again? Machitorai, or suspect Fortissimo. Right, it's his trial in a case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecutor is ready to work. Something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time. Incuratus, was it? The article said there is no known cure. Now, Judge, let me say with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite a juncture yesterday. I asked Interpol about the number. IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Letus. Ah ja, stimmt, das war der Twist. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help. Ah, no problem at all, Your Honor. How are you heading out? Wait, that voice just now. It was him. I'm sure of it. It was him. Voice I heard, talking to Mr. Letus, when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darian. No way. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darian would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please, tell the court your findings. Darian Crescent is a member of my band, the Governors. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to add our case or file new charges. And you reasoners? Aren't you aware, Herr Ford? He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Governors ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamoura, and Machi, along with a drummer and a bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamoura and the defendant, Machitorai, had left the stage at that point, and the Governors were already walking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Sky, mind you. And Apollo, you heard them too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, Lamoura herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. When she claims to have heard Mr. Letus and Detective Crescent talking... But that's impossible. Detective Crescent was... Precisely, Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his group on, no less. Voila, a perfect alibi. Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true, when I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something there that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darian Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged. Which means that Lamoura was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well, of course we disregard her testimony. Then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections. Oh, Apollo, if he declares a verdict now. But Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Lamoura might have been lying to protect Machi. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center? About the case. What about the case? Want to tell us about Mr. Letus' death? This meeting's over. Darian? Matty was trying to tell us something, I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him. Under oath. Very well. The court finds the defendant. What was his name again? Your Honor. No, that wasn't it. It was something like McGee's or Mr. Justice. Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defendant calls defendant Machi Torbay to the stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter, I'm afraid you have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as I love you and where's the toilet. The defense would like to request Laura as the interpreter. Laura? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she would be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? That is most unusual. Bravo, Herr Forehead. Herr Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Laura lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that. Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see a little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Well, please show the defendant and Laura to the witness stand. I suppose there is a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with, if you would, Laura. Yes. He says Machi Torbay, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really need an interpreter of that message in particular. So far so good. Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would... If I would what, Your Honor? What? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want him to testify about? I hadn't thought that far yet. Apollo! Are you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying? Excuse me a moment, if I might speak. Yes, Lamour. Just now, Machi said there's something about which he wishes to testify. She wants to testify about something. What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please. The suspense is killing me. What? What? Well, Lamour. Coming to Machi. He has proof of his innocence. What? This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory! Apollo, we did it! This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is by the testimony, Laura. I mean, Machi. Please testify to the court. Very well. He says that what if Mr. Lutus's death came as a great shock? What if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song? That is, he could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. Yeah, that's a weak point. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wonder what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamour to know the meaning of that song. Lamour? Did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamour might be protecting the witness. Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in the testimony, I know it. I just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. I tried yesterday, it will work today. I'm sure he can understand English, actually.
Gotcha!
Like he responds to what Lamora says. Also deswegen glaube ich, er kann das verstehen. You can't fool my eyes. You glanced towards her the very moment Lamora said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Archie, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? What are you saying? Of course he can't. Must you continue this charade? Mr. Justice, Machi says this. You know the word English, huh? Before coming to this country, you heard me speaking English. You learned a name for this language, that's all. What? Give me a break. Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance? Well, yeah, but... I'm sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. Well, then explain this. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics? You've always been such a suspicious-minded lad. It is simple, so simple it hardly requires an explanation. You read about it in a newspaper. He is blind. The newspaper. The Virginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know. They've already begun to report about this case in our homeland. I was right. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes are quite fierce all of a sudden. But she's lying. Maybe it's time to shout and prove that he's lying. Ah ja, okay. I have here a Virginian newspaper, the Virginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? That's right, it doesn't mention the lyrics. What is this all about? I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Virginia newspaper. What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. I know. Must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning, yes? Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. I have to check who is actually blind. Yeah, he can't see. Okay, so she is the blind one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I mixed it up. Saw the lyrics, went in the newspaper, and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. The witness will explain himself. Machi says, he says... Yes. It is true, I read the newspaper, but this is not where I learned the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. What? Is this true, Lamora? Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. It looks like a fool. It's been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No. I was onto something, I know it. I can't let this chance slip away. Time is initiated today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with the cross-examination? What are you going to do, Apollo? If I'm going to keep on cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else... My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well, witness. I understand. Exactly how much did you explain to Machi? This is a question for me, yes. This interpreting thing is getting out fast. I told him that Mr. Latus had been killed and why he was the suspect, and I told him the crimes of the day followed my song. Did you mention any particular words of the song relating to the case such as heart? Yes, of course I explained this. He was quite surprised. Yay, I knew he was innocent. I believe he is too, Trucy, I do. What's wrong, Apollo? You got a tummy ache or something? Something's hidden in the testimony. If it's the truth, I'll find it. Ich finde es halt weird, dass sie bei dem ersten Part ihre Augen nicht bewegt, aber ich weiß halt, ich meine, sie haben ihren Mund nicht bewegt, aber es ist halt so, ist es das? Okay. I was right. Did you know the body reveals our thoughts? And you was telling me you were uncertain just now. Should I be interpreting this or not? Yes, of course. I must admit, I find it hard to interpret that, which makes no sense. Maybe you got it wrong, Apollo, just a thought. Might have a point there, Trucy. No need to interpret that after all, Lapa. Okay, I was just wrong. Sad. What should you explain? Kid and why he was a suspect, and I told him the crimes the day that followed my song. Did you mention any particular words of the song relating to the case such as heart? Yes, of course I explained this. He was quite surprised. I knew he was innocent. He's too Trucy, I do. What's wrong, Apollo? You got a tummy ache or something? Machi and Mr. Latus close? Yes, after we traveled around the world on tour together. No more. This is Machi's cross-examination, not yours. But I knew the answer. This is a court of law. We'll play by the book. I understand. Prosecutor Gavin's tough? He's really tough. Machi says he was very good friends with Mr. Latus. Mr. Latus was always a gentleman, never angry. We got along quite well. Never dreamed something like this would happen. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song... The guitar serenade, correct? Yes, the crime followed the lyrics of the song. The theft of the keyring, the burning guitar and the bullet. This is why it could not have been me. I could not have done it, you mean? It is very simple. But you could not have done all the things that happened today. All those things followed the song lyrics closely. Wouldn't it be difficult for him to perform without knowing the meaning of the lyrics? He didn't know what the song was about. Its mood, shall we say. This was enough to play by. For him it was a song about the guitar and love. It's not actually the guitar that's in love, strictly speaking. Oh, perhaps I misunderstood. No, not really. Here's also a valid interpretation. Yeah, okay. No, it is my fault. I'm too used to singing in Virginia. It is much easier than trying to understand these English lyrics. Hi, Volo. Don't think I have anything. This light is scorched, and then there's this. It's been cleaned through. Yep, it's pretty much a useless piece of junk. It's kind of like you after a trial, Apollo. Which part, the burnt clean through or the useless piece of junk? Okay, ich hatte irgendwie so leichte Hoffnung, dass vielleicht jetzt irgendwie sowas wäre, dass es auf My Song reacted wird und es dann irgendwie heißt, No, I wrote that song. Says that word of death, Mr. Latuse's death came. That word of Mr. Latuse's death came as a great shock. Clue. Ich versuche mal absolut jedes Statement hier durchzugehen. Aber ich meine, das hatte ich ja schon. Und jetzt reactet ihr hier nicht mehr drauf. Hm. I have no clue. Hm. Ich kam nicht drauf. Ich glaube, ich schaue tatsächlich jetzt kurz die Lösung nach, bevor ich jetzt ewig brauche und alles ausprobiere, weil das wäre irgendwie ein bisschen blöd. I don't know what it is, but my mic just randomly keeps disconnecting. I don't know how long I was gone. I hope it wasn't too long. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So, will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? Machi won't testify. Then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamoura. Lamoura? What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamoura's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamoura was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. Oh, what? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamoura dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin? Why would anyone be out to kill Lamoura? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut? Who could that have been? You don't think... I do. It was the same person who shot Miss Alitus. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely that there's a nugget of truth in Lamoura's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover. Exactly. If Lamoura was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There are some big points in the testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamoura's testimony once more. Lamoura, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. No need to apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and Shooter's voice through the window? And that the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point, I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. You have nothing to say that to that, Mr. Justice. I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know. And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind to ask to testify once more to court. Of course, Your Honor. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latus and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. I'm sorry. I'm not used to speaking much in this language. Personal descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I've said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamar was attacked because of this testimony. What, Trissy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you're pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead? Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. Something wrong? I know I said hold it. But she's saying the same thing she said before. Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony. Darian Crescent? I did not know his name at the time, but yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There's no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same question as yesterday, we won't get anywhere. She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Emma, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something like something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I did not understand what was said. This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. But what did he say? Was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latus? The shooter then, Darian Crescent. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch. Now. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latus. I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? I mean, sure. It's, I mean, very right. Maybe you could add that to this testimony. Maybe, Apollo?
Objection!
Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it just so happens I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage? where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage. I claim that the voice Lamore heard was of someone commanding another to press the switch. It's a possibility. Oh, for it, I would call it an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to mind the chord of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamoire's dressing room. Not to mention that the Governors were in the middle of a concert on a set stage. We are known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. We aren't known for being a quiet band. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So to have her words quite a possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me, you heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it for you? Would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from the dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? So in this it would be easy to get a message to someone on the stage from the dressing room. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you are familiar with this? Why, that's... What is this? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I was looking? This is a type of transmitter, a communication device. Communications device? What I've heard, that device, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually, they are for talking between band members. We all had one on. So I admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple. True, but wait, they'll send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio system, their range is quite limited. Lamar said it was about 30 feet wide. Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be. Someone Lamoire heard the shooter's voice. He could have been talking to someone on stage. You're claiming this is the switch in question. Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we even know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch? Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is the switch anyway? We don't even know the basic fact. Wait a second, I do know what the switch is. And if you follow the train of logic to its incredible conclusion, that's a proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? We know about the switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice. I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what the switch is. Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking the switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain that what the switch is? I would say the igniter. I mean, it's pretty obvious choice. The other thing would be like the moment where Lamoire just randomly teleported, but I don't think that's like something we have as evidence, so yeah. Was it Gavin? You remember this? That what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones? This is an igniter. It looks like this. Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually... You aren't saying the switch is a remote. I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. Mr. Justice, you receive and desist from burning down his courtroom. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I'd expected. If my whiskers had caught on fire. Investigator Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't it suggest something to you? You are talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Exactly. That night at the concert there was one unusual burst of flames. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance. Wasn't part of the stage show though. Pastor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned, and the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right, he got it in Virginia from Lamour. He said the sound was amazing before it burned, of course, not just kind of smokes. The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Her forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie those two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Lamour, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire. I will turn on the light, I guess. It's really simple when you think about it. So the Tours and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire. Well, that does seem to make sense. There was something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really, it seems pretty simple to me. Everett, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin? This little story makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. That's right, of course. The guitar caught fire during Lamour's song. Indeed. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. Two are utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty. See, his story makes no sense. Are you sure about that? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's apart. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. What's this? But the detective Emma Sky heard shots in front of the body. All of this happened in the third act. Gunshots rang out. And according to his testimony, Machi was in that dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony, namely that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. Next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. Note the remote-triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballet performance, second act. Order. But that goes against the evidence. It does, Your Honor. This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of the song, yes? Hey, he's right, look. Bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look, why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through. With little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason. Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose? Huh? Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin? If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flames. Yet, for it has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flames. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics the whole way. Order. That would explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the first set, but not the second. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good. I give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song, but I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction effort. Once I've pointed out several times. No less. At the time of the crime, the small window of the scene was closed. How could Laura have heard a voice through it? Oh. I know what you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you are basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Laura's testimony is my entire case. The voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? A man saying, press the switch. And near the crime scene we have a switch. Which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required, and the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime. That window was closed. Get to tell us how Lamora heard the voice. A key point, to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove, and one thing only. Lamora heard the voice. And she heard it during the second set. Think, how was Lamora able to hear a voice? When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open either. Meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. It's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment I was afraid you might be a Virginian too. So I was saying, Lamora could not hear the voice through the window. So there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret why you have heard? Lamora clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window, and there's only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is? I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim Lamora heard the voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was. Lamora heard the voice from here. This is where Lamora heard the voice from. But it's no small window, that's the air vent. What did she tell us? She said she's a Virginian unfamiliar with the language. It is not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window. Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So Lamora was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice. That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, I thought. Okay, what about it isn't logical? It hardly merits saying. Why would Lamora be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat, no offense intended to her. Of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. isn't it, Lamora? You've been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit, it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, my window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear through it? Fear the prosecutor might have served it an interpreter. The problem here is words. Now, the small window through which you heard the voice. Was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on the wall? Yes, it was high up on the ceiling. Order. I will order. Witness, you will clarify the statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room and that's where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact I was. I'm sorry, I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? Well, if it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure I can't. I remind you, this is a murder trial. We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of the room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. I was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter. Bound to secrecy? In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold. As you were in the middle of your performance, so this did happen during the second set. I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard. Yes, but you must tell us what you are doing in detail. That's what the cross-examination is for. Yeah, I have heard. Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. What are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to find out the truth. She was up above the ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I heard there was a small window there before. Above the ceiling, could you be more specific? I cannot. Because you're bound to secrecy? Yes. To tell the truth, I was not supposed to even say I was above the ceiling. I dare not say anymore. Doesn't sound like I'll be able to coax it out of her just by saying it. By small window, you mean the event? I only remember I needed to be careful of where I put my hands and feet. I cannot see the light coming through the window, of course. The event could trip you up, certainly. So I was walking very carefully when I heard the gunshots. Started, I crouched and listened. That is when I heard his voice come from the room. Darian's voice. I knew something terrible had happened yet. So, without a word, you just let the third set start? After the curtain closed for the second set, there was still much to do. I could have prevented this whole misunderstanding if you had only told us sooner. Yes, perhaps I could have. I see little point in badgering the witness. What's done is done. The mind works differently when one is in the middle of a performance. Why I've lost my voice in the middle of a show, it kept on singing, completely unaware. Singing without a voice, if only all contradictions were so obvious. If only I could get Lamar to talk. Pursuing her like this doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. As to why I was there, I cannot say. Heard the gunshots during the second set during your performance? You're quite sure? Yes, why would I lie about this time? Why didn't you tell us this yesterday? No one asked me. I thought you all knew. Pretty much he was not a killer. I told you this many times. Yes, you did. But you never told us why. I'm sorry. I was not able to speak of it. Unable or unwilling? She's not talking, Apollo. What do we do? We just have to prove it ourselves. As long as she's bound by the pact of silence, she won't talk. But if I can prove why she was up there, she'll have to admit it. But how are you going to do that? She was singing on a stage, Apollo. She couldn't have been above the ceiling too. Yes, she could. Got a theory as to why too. Maybe I've got evidence to prove it. I think the magician could have like, I think the magician could just be her doppelganger who appeared on, you know, who appeared on the little thing and she disappeared into the vent just for her trick to work. That might be it. Oh no. I will press this for now. Why do you bound you to the secrecy? I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who it was. Now, I think perhaps that is alright. It is just a name after all. It was Valen Gramarye. Perhaps you know him? I was right. Valen Gramarye? What? You mean Anke Valant? What? Valen Gramarye? Who's Valen Gramarye? A Grand Magician, the one responsible for the illusion performed during a concert. An interesting reaction, Prosecutor Gavin. Emma was born to secrecy. It's going to take some hard-hitting proof to make her talk. I think I know why she was up there, but how do I prove it? How can I... Bruges is the only thing that comes to mind for me, so... yeah. I mean, I guess we can present that one. Just like, I don't know which one of these, to be honest. The thing is, we can prove that she disappeared and reappeared in an impossible sequence, so... like, it can't be that she teleported, obviously. Okay, I was right. Now, truth be told, the reason for your presence above the ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's right here on this video. Or maybe she had to climb from... Okay, I was wrong. Maybe he wasn't a doppelganger, but what happened is that she disappeared into the vent, went through that thing, and then up here again and appeared. I mean, it's a pretty bullshitty because she appeared like instantly, and this obviously can't happen, but yeah. As you can see, Laura was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Though it saddens me to be so realistic. Laura is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation, so the only explanation is that she was hidden from view, and during that time she moved to the back of the forum. Apollo! What do you see? It's not nice to reveal a magician's secret, and it's against the rules. But I'm a lawyer, I'm not supposed to be nice. This is all very fascinating, but how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed. He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. You can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage through the backstage to the rear front of the forum. Recall Lamora's testimony from yesterday. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Everyone knew of this because of her part in the illusion. She wasn't the only one who knew. What? It's now in the lobby. Mochi taught me something. I know. And now by opening the vent, I can leave stage and backstage. He said it. You are not informed, Prosecutor Gavin. I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course, yet I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why did that magician tell me? Magicians only reveal details to the acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know. Which is why he bound Lamora to secrecy. Well, Lamora, I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. But I was right about you. So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this word about the ceiling? I did. Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused. Why is that, Your Honor? As I said before. There was very little time between when she disappears and when she reappears. 20 seconds tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice. That's a good question. Can I witness explain this to the court? I cannot. Very well, Mr. Justice. Yes, it's up to you. Do your thing. What thing, Your Honor? You need to explain how Lama was able to teleport like she did, or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater. Why do I get picked on? It's Lama who isn't going along with the program here. As I have stated before, I'm not at liberty to speak of the illusion at night in detail. You just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to bring the truth out of her. Yes, if you would, please. Right. Click a student before finals. Good luck, Apollo. Followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There's an emergency exit on backstage, where stage hand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard a voice. 2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens. Suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something? As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lamar is saying and what we can see plainly in the video. Figured it out already. I'm a magician after all. Tell me. Not a chance. Can't reveal another magician's secrets? Come on. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here. Okay, so the 2 minutes. Okay, no objection. Wow. 2 minutes. Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you're running. Running? In the cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling? Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me. That's true, but... So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes? Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway. Laura disappears on the video for 20 seconds, but she says she made a trip in 2 minutes. How? If you want my professional opinion, Albert, the answer's right there in the video. Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us? Sorry, I can explain the discrepancy between the video and the testimony. I'll watch the video again. Wait. Maybe that one is a doppelganger and she was already on her way when that was happening. Say? Just explain this, the discrepancy? Save the game? There's some bits of evidence that explains the discrepancy between video and testimony. I would say it's on the video. Ha! So this is it? The magical key to unlocking the solution's dark secret? Tell us how it works. Quickly! I can't bear this suspense. Yeah... Well, you see... Okay, I was wrong. The brooch. Here she has the brooch. Here she doesn't, I think. May I please get... Yeah, she doesn't. It does that's it. I would like to text skip on. So it was a different person. Noah, do you happen to remember this brooch? Ah, the brooch. We saw that yesterday, did we not? It was fun at the scene, Your Honor. And you bring this up now? Why? I thought we had already determined when it was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Yeah, you can see she's wearing the brooch. So she is. Let's look a bit later. What? The brooch, it's gone. What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in a short space of 20 seconds, and it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there can be only one explanation. Lamour we see before the Vanishing Act and the Lamour we see after are two different people. The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene, and not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the event. Lamour, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage? At the very moment you witnessed the crime? Yes, I think I did. Order, Prosecutor Gavin. From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Judge. I, of course, knew about it. What? Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So, I was right there. There was a switch. There was. Just before the stage tower Lamour was replaced. While we are on the subject, just who was replacing Lamour? Why, the man behind the illusion, Valent Gramarye. It was Gramarye? That's quite an illusion, but I still don't get one thing. Yeah? Switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage. That's right. But this fake Lamour is still singing. She's pretty good. That's true. Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They're just playing recordings. Gavin us aren't some kind of air guitar band, Fräulein. You mean I'm wrong? When we play a show live, we play live, no recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lamour. Very well. Yes, to tell and add to your testimony. I had to keep singing even while I moved. You were singing? Yes. So Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this. You were singing the whole time? And when you're recording above the ceiling toward backstage? It shouldn't matter where I sing, whenever I go is the same darkness. If you are singing while you were walking. That's right, wouldn't the shooter and the victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads after all. That is right. Sure. It'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the state of the scene of the crime. What state? I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo. Speaker? That speaker was blowing at the time of the murder. That's our monitoring the stage one soon. Monitoring? Perhaps in real time. We try to stage microphones. Here's for knowing when your set is coming up. Satisfied? The dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So, Lamour singing at the ceiling sounded just like Lamour singing over the speaker. Genius, her voice was hidden by her voice. Lamour, I just remembered something. This hell. And I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes. Stopped me, so I... So you? I stopped singing. Oh, forgot the words I was supposed to sing. The song stopped? Equally, it was at the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice. What? The mixing board I lent you, where is it? The mixing... Huh? Machine, Apollo, the one that breaks music into tracks. Oh, this, I completely forgot about it. Let's take a listen. Song does stop there. I must have missed it. Look at the lyric sheet. At the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again. She just forgot to say one pleasure. It's crazy. This is evidence indeed. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake. Crime didn't happen during the first set. It happened during the second, during Lamora's ballad. That is true. And no one on stage during the second set could have been a shooter. Which means that Darian Crescent could have done it. He was on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin. Fascinating. I don't believe I have ever seen a trial turn around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? Therefore its fury does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lamora's testimony. Yes, is there a problem with this? Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she's lying to protect the defendant? But you have no proof. What I'm saying is that the truth is yet unclear, until we hear directly from the man himself. The man? You don't mean... Yes. Though he is a friend and band member Darian Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way. As someone with a new perspective for the case? As a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole, and I am ready to catch him. Darian Crescent, get ready for justice. This I got as the time, as many for a pause for a brief recess. The prosecution will summon a witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin. I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are. Very well, court is adjourned for a 50-minute recess. To be continued. Okay. Ich würde tatsächlich sagen, es war ein sehr erfolgreicher Stream. Also wie gesagt, es war halt ein Voice-Trading-Stream und ich würde sagen, ich bin recht gut mit meiner Stimme klargekommen. Ich meine, ich habe manchmal Fehler gemacht, was die Stimme angeht, aber ich meine, ich mache jeden Stream-Fehler da, wenn es darum geht, Charakter zu sprechen. Aber ja, ich meine, ich hatte das Problem, dass sowohl der Judge als auch Gavin ähnlich geklungen haben, als auch Lamora und Apollo. Also da müsste ich halt nochmal eine Differenzierung machen. Und ich meine, gut, Tracy hat auch ein bisschen ähnlich gesprochen. Und es haben alle ziemlich ähnlich gesprochen, als ich sie dann gevoiced habe. Das war jetzt so kleine Sache, aber ansonsten, was meine Stimme an sich angeht, fand ich die eigentlich absolut in Ordnung. Ich muss nochmal später ins Recording reinhören. Es ist gut, dass dieses Recording existiert, damit ich mir das anhören kann. Ja, es war auf jeden Fall sehr schön. Und jetzt aber so, würde mich dann verabschieden und sagen, vielleicht kommt bald wir dieses Kapitel beenden. Aber ich kann nichts garantieren. Ich habe einiges zu tun jetzt. Vor allem mit Uni. Aber ja, würde mich verabschieden und sagen, ciao.